We are now 41 minutes past the hour. You're listening to Ravens Hockey Live on CKCU, and we just want to, we're breaking this into 3 parts here, as you can actually catch our shows online, on our blog, and on YouTube now, our own YouTube channel. Everything's going online, so keep a lookout for that if you can't catch it. We're also on Twitter now.
Yeah, so CU Ravens Hockey or Ravens Hockey Live, and you'll find us. All right, though, on Twitter right now, there is an interesting comment made. Right after the game, Carleton beats Ottawa U 8-0 in the men's game Friday night. In an interview after the game, head coach Dave Leger called Carleton the team to beat in the OUA East.
Yeah, he didn't do it on Twitter though.
It's on Twitter. That question is posted on Twitter.
Oh baby.
You can check that out. But yeah, he called them the best team in the OUA East. That's over undefeated McGill. Well, I'm not undefeated. They haven't lost in regulation. They've lost 2 in OT. Now, guys, was this just a coach who released his frustration after the game, because they lost 8-0, or does he actually believe and does he actually have a case to say that Carleton is the best team in the OUA East?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the context of the quote. It was right after Carleton demolished Ottawa U, and Carleton hasn't played Carleton yet. They haven't proven that. I mean, Carleton hasn't played McGill yet. Sorry about that. They haven't proven that they're better than them, but this weekend they play them. And I mean, I'm not saying McGill's a great team. They haven't lost in regulation yet this year. 18-0-2, I believe, is their record. They have, if you look at the scoring leaderboard for the OUA, it's all McGill Redmond. They have 4 players ahead of the Ravens' top scorer, Brandon McLean. And so McGill is a powerhouse, and if Carleton wants to compete with them, they're going to have to bring their best game on Friday night to Montreal. However, that being said, Carleton's on a roll right now. They're playing a great game, and Leger did bring up a great point that Carleton probably played the best game that he's seen from his bench, and he's played McGill twice already. So McGill's going to have to bring their A game on Friday night too.
See, that's where I'm almost in disagreement here with Dave Leger as well. First off, McGill averages over 5 goals a game. They average 5.6 goals a game. They put on almost 38 shots a game. They have one of the best power plays in the country. They don't allow a lot of goals. This team is just they fire on all cylinders every night. And you're forgetting that Carleton scored 4 shorthanded goals, which is impressive, obviously. That is a feat that needs to be recognized. But you're not going to score 4 shorthanded goals every night. And if the power play went the way it was supposed to, and Ottawa U scored 3 or 4 power play goals, then all of a sudden you're looking at a 4-3, 4-4, 4-2 hockey game that's a lot different from an 8-0 result.
Yeah, you know what? I think I have to disagree with both of you, actually. I don't think his comments are out of line at all. He's played both teams now several times, and they've played McGill fairly close. They played Carleton close in the first game at Ottawa U, albeit Ottawa U didn't really have much of a crowd there because it was their reading week. This was their first time they've really gotten a full taste of the Ice House and the Carleton fans and the Carleton team. Now that this is a new team, that they have been playing together and they are getting used to each other and they are finding their own. So I think that really when it comes down to it, I don't think his comments are out of line at all, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how Carleton and McGill match up. One thing that you have to remember is looking at this Ottawa U Carleton game, you've got a couple of top scorers in Luke Blaine and Kyle Ireland coming in, and Carleton took them out of the game. They did something that no one else has really been able to do this year. Brad Albert, Brad Good, Carleton's defense was absolutely outstanding.
They just frustrated them. Like you said, they hit them, they took away space, they just made them miserable.
Yeah, and exactly, they were frustrated. Luke Blaine took a 10-minute misconduct. I mean, when it comes down to it, these guys are guys that have been scoring all year. They've been, some of the best players in the country, and Carleton shut them down. They could not do anything. And you look at scoring 8 goals, that's a big part of it. But I think just as big a part, or even a bigger part of it all, is the ability to shut down those top players. And if they can shut down a caliber player like Luke Blaine or like Kyle Ireland, who's to say they can't shut down Francis Vero-Paul?
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of frustrating the players, you can hear a great interview with superstar on Ottawa U, Kyle Ireland, on our website, ravenshockeylive.wordpress.com. Search Ravens Hockey Live in Google, and you can hear a very deflated-sounding Kyle Ireland after that game. Now, we just talked about what Dave Leger, coach of the Ottawa Jeezies, had to say after the game. Jeff had a chance to catch up with Marty Johnston, head coach of your own Carleton Ravens, and let's hear what Marty had to say.
Hey, Jeff Krever here from Ravens Hockey Live. I'm here with Ravens head coach Marty Johnston. Marty, it was a really chippy game. You know, it was a lot of penalties. Is this the kind of thing you expect with a rivalry game, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think obviously both teams wanted to compete hard, and for the first half of that game, I mean, I think Ottawa U played really well, and we were just fortunate to capitalize on some chances. And anytime you get that many shorthanded goals, you know, you're pretty fortunate.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a lot of shorthanded goals. That was amazing. Have you ever seen anything like that? Or?
No, that's actually the first time I've been part of something like that. But you know, I think credit has to go to our two assistant coaches, Don Van Allen and Ryan Bedell, who are basically in charge of the penalty kill. And you know, I think that was a difference tonight.
And a long layoff for both teams in terms of regular season games. You know, what better way to start off the second half of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that we definitely showed some rust in our first two exhibition games after the break, but the boys worked hard tonight. They, you know, they finished on plays, which is good, but you know, they're going to enjoy it this weekend, and then we'll get back to work on Monday.
Yeah, a really tough stretch coming up. Next 6 games against teams from Quebec, the next 3 on the road. Is that something that you guys have been stressing lately?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big challenge, obviously. Anytime, arguably, we're one of the top 3 teams in the country in McGill, you know, they're going to be ready for us after tonight's results. So, you know, we got a lot of work ahead. I mean, it's a great win, but at the same time, we move on and try to make sure that we're prepared for next weekend.
What about the play of Matthew Duclos? He's been absolutely tremendous in the last few games in the last stretch. What's it mean to have him playing so consistently?
Yeah, I mean, I think he comes up with the big save at the right time. There were times during the game where he probably didn't see a lot of shots, but he did come up with some very big plays. And obviously, the way he plays the puck, he's you know, a big part of our penalty kill.
Okay, one more question. Who's one player that you might expect to hear a lot more from in the second half of the season that we haven't heard a lot from so far?
I don't know if we haven't heard a lot from, but I think Jeff Hayes and Joe Placatus are sort of getting used to the league, and you know, I see their play getting better and better.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
I was just talking to Dave one day, he was talking that even after playing against twice and losing, he thinks the Ravens are the most dominant team in the division. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think we were fortunate in a lot of cases tonight. You know, we finished off goals, which we haven't done in the first half, but you know, there's still some weaknesses to our game. I think that first period, you know, Ottawa U had some great chances, and our goaltending, you know, came up huge for us. So.
That was head coach Marty Johnston after the big 8-0 win